Raiders OTAs are starting to heat up. Geno Smith is considered a top 10 quarterback going into the 2025 season. Christian Wilkins' injury becoming a big challenge for the Raiders, and a new linebacker joins the team. Yo, what is up, Raidernation? It's your boy, Samoa Raider, back at it again with yet another video. If this is the very first time you guys are coming across this channel and you love Raiders content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. First things first, let's talk about Raiders OTA. Like I said earlier, things are starting to heat up. It's great to see the camaraderie going around with the team, all the energy going around, and of course, having a head coach like Pete Carroll, you know dang well that this team and OTAs are going to have a lot of energy to it. We got to see a lot of clips of practice today. Shout out to everybody that was over there, the media that was able to capture some clips, which I'm showing to you guys right now. We got to see Brock Bowers. We got to see Max Crosby, Ashton Jeanty, Geno Smith out there slinging the rock, the whole 9 yards. And all I can think of to myself is, damn, I'm excited for some Raiders football all over again. And I think this is the part of the season where everybody has a lot of optimism. A lot of people have a lot of hope, including me, going into this season. And especially with all these training videos and even all the reports coming out of training camp, one thing's for sure, the vibes around camp is at an all-time high. But I do want to kind of highlight some things coming out of today's OTAs. First thing I want to talk about is Geno Smith. Of course, we've seen him slinging the rock all over the field, and he's gotten a lot of praise from a lot of different people. He made a lot of big plays. According to Levi Edwards, he tweeted out that Geno Smith has been on a heater the last few reps, completed a jump ball to Michael Mayer, and then a deep touchdown to Trey Tucker, who to me, I feel like is one of the players that could definitely break out this season. Trey Tucker seems like that deep ball option, the guy with the speed, and if you got a guy like Geno Smith with the arm that he does have, if you give him the protection, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of deep bomb touchdowns this season. Now, Jesse Merrick also tweeted to this saying that it's just OTAs, but Geno Smith's deep ball looks really, really good. Like I said earlier, if Geno Smith does have the time out there and with the weapons that we do have over here in Las Vegas, I don't see why we can't see a lot of those deep bombs over here. It's been quite a while since we had a quarterback that could just launch it down the field and be accurate with the ball. But then again, this is only OTAs, and I know we can all get hyped up and hype it up a little bit more than it actually is, and it's not really going to matter until the season actually comes and we see it in real time. Now, if there is anybody else that could give Geno Smith any type of praise, it's his former coach, Pete Carroll. He was asked about Geno Smith, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I really feel so fortunate that we were able to get that done. John, got it done. John Spytek got it done for us. To me, he's been emblematic of what a leader should be by his habits and by the way he brings himself every day. He's the first guy out here. He's the last guy to leave. It's really important to him that he stands for what leadership is all about, and he's a good football player too. He's looked great in practice so far. So we're really excited about what he's bringing.
Man, I can't wait to see these two on the field. Pete Carroll, Geno Smith trying to lead this Las Vegas Raiders team to some victories, man. And I expect this team to be much better than we were last year. Now, another funny clip that I seen from Pete Carroll's presser today was the fact that he kind of poked fun at Ashton Jeanty's new stance, saying that he really loves the new stance. And that could kind of go back to our point that we talked about yesterday. Of course, Chip Kelly was the main guy that basically told Ashton Jeanty to change his stance to bending over and whatnot, pause. But it seems like Pete Carroll also feels the same way as well.
How do you feel about Ashton Jeanty's development so far for rookie running backs? There's that learning curve with pass blocking and catching.
I really like that stance he's in,
We know that he's an old school head coach, kind of like John Gruden and even Chip Kelly. So I think it's going to be some time till we finally see Ashton Jeanty, stand straight up. But he's just going to have to go out there and prove himself and just ball out. And then maybe he could get the blessings to just stand straight up and do what he did in college.
He's doing great. He really is. He's right on point with everything that we're doing. He's studying really hard. He's been really diligent about all aspects. There's nothing that he doesn't find important. He's going to work hard on his pass protection, his third down type of work, see if he can contribute in that kind of a role as well. So we're not holding anything back on him. He's getting a lot of plays. Yeah, I think he had the most plays for a running back yet on Monday. I don't know what the number was today, but it's there. So he's getting a lot of turns.
Now, moving on to the defense side of the ball, I think that's where most of the praise was at in today's OTAs. A lot of praise was going all around. There was a couple of interceptions out there. According to Tashawn Reed, he tweeted out that I'd give the edge to the Raiders defense today. Gave up a few touchdowns, but came up with 4 picks, 3 off of Smith, 1 off of AOC, and generally held the offense in check. Now, it's kind of funny because I just praised Geno Smith for how well he looked today and even throughout training camp so far. But after hearing this, it seems like the defense is also keeping up with that same energy. But then again, usually at this time of the offseason, the defense is always going to come out on top, especially when you have a new offense with a new offense coordinator, a new quarterback, and a lot of new offensive weapons. They're just going to take some time to gel. And I know we hyped up the defense a lot, especially going into last season, but they weren't good. They weren't good at all, but that could go right back into just losing a couple of pieces on the defensive side of the ball right before the season. Now, I had to do a little bit of digging up to figure out who were the players that came in with interceptions. Now, the 4 players were Jeremy Chin, Tommy Eichenberg, Chris Smith, and Lonnie Johnson. And you know what? One thing's for sure, it's a good thing to see that Jeremy Chin is making some plays out there. It's a good thing that Tommy Eichenberg is making some plays as well. I'm just hoping that Tommy could get a little bit more PT, which I'm kind of expecting, knowing how thin the linebacker room is. And going right back to Pete Carroll, he also praised today's defense and how well they did, saying that the coverage group did a really good job today. It was good to see us make some plays.
You know, today was the defense's day. We made it harder on the offense. We mixed some things in there today that we were hoping would be challenging for them, and they were. You give Chip one more day, and it's going to be hard tomorrow. He'll bring it right back at us. Fortunately, we have some guys that really bring it. Jeremy Chin has really shown a lot already in leadership, and then Roberts has already given us a real surge in the kind of confidence that you can spread to the rest of the players. E. Stokes has done a nice job too. You know, he's jumped right up at the corner spot. So we're getting a lot of really good positive things from guys that have been there before and been on some good teams and done some good winning and all that, and they're helping the other guys.
Now, one player that we did not see on the defensive side of the ball today was Christian Wilkins. Now, I know Christian Wilkins was initially out there. He was going through stretches. He was suited up today. And another good thing was the fact that he wasn't in a walking boot today. But he didn't have a helmet on, and he didn't go through any of the defensive lineman drills. I know that it's going to be kind of tough not having Christian Wilkins out there, but at least he's looking better and better every single day. And I just hope and pray that he's going to be ready to go once the season does start, because he's going to be a key piece on the defensive side, especially on the defensive line amongst Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz even coming back, Jonah Laulu, Adam Butler. This defensive line is definitely going to strive off of him coming back at 100%. But when Pete Carroll was asked about this, he said that it's been really, really challenging as of late.
Yeah, this has been a difficult recovery, and he's done everything he needs to do. He's been here every day. He's here early, working hard, but we're still working it, and he's not ready to get back out. And you know, we're in the midst of a long, challenging process here. So, fortunately, there's a lot of time, and we're going to take every bit of it. We've really tried to be really diligent about the way we've worked it and the way we've monitored it and all of that. And he's been on board the whole time. So, but it has been challenging.
Now, I do want to take a bit of a pivot right back into talking about our quarterback, Geno Smith, because he's going to be a really, really important piece to the offensive side of the ball and how well this team moves and how well this team can go out there and score points. And going into the 2025 season, according to PFF, they actually have him ranked as the 10th best quarterback as a starter going into the season, which is some really high praise, saying few would have pegged Smith to grade as the 6th best passer in the NFL over the past 2 seasons, but here we are. In fact, his 85.8 passing grade in that span is just 0.2 points shy of Patrick Mahomes. After being traded for a 3rd-round pick this offseason, Smith should enjoy an improved offensive line, but a downgrade in receiving weapons. He protects the football and has a knack for generating big throws. Now, I read this, and the first thing that pops out is a downgrade in weapons. And I know a lot of Raider fans out there are all questioning that, like, really? Especially with Brock Bowers over here. But you really got to think about it. Seattle Seahawks, they had a lot of great weapons, especially at wide receiver. They had Tyler Lockett, they had JSN, and they had DK Metcalf. And I would say that wide receiver room right now is better than what the Raiders have. But that's not saying that the Raiders can't have a better overall receiving group so far, especially going into the season. Of course, we got Brock Bowers, but we also have Michael Mayer. And then we got Jacoby Myers, who is one of the most reliable and underrated wide receivers. Then you add Jack Besh, but we haven't seen him yet, but the sky's the limit for Jack Besh, and if he can turn into what we all think he can be, I think that he'd be a wide receiver 1 for this team. But then you also got to take into account that Trey Tucker is just on the verge of breaking out, and if he can play up to his true potential, then I think that the Raiders overall have a great receiving group, but we just got to go out there and prove it. Yes, the offensive line does look better, and I feel like that's going to be a really key piece for the Raiders' weapons and even Geno Smith to succeed this season. So overall, I do think that this is a fair evaluation for Geno Smith going into the season with the Raiders. I don't think being the 10th quarterback in the NFL is really a bad thing. It's definitely a huge upgrade over what we've had over the past couple of years. But what do you guys think, Raider Nation? Do you feel like Geno Smith is the 10th best starting quarterback going into the season, or do you think that he's better or worse? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, the last thing I do want to highlight is the fact that the Raiders brought in a new linebacker to the team. According to the Raiders themselves, they announced that they have signed linebacker Michael Barrett. Now, Barrett was a 7th round pick for the Panthers last year and a former Michigan Wolverine, was traded to the Seahawks for cornerback Michael Jackson in late August. He spent time in Seattle's practice squad and also has stints on the practice squad in Cleveland and Green Bay during his rookie season. He was active for the Packers in week 18, but did not play. Now, Barrett did spend 6 years at Michigan under Jim Harbaugh, where he became a key player for the Wolverines and was named to third team All Big Ten twice. He's got an uphill battle making the active roster, but linebacker is one of the thinner positions for the Raiders, so he'll get a fair chance to earn a spot on the team. And a corresponding move, though, the Raiders have waived linebacker Wesley Steiner. Steiner was signed by the Raiders after their rookie minicamp earlier this month. Now, reading all of this and looking at it, he's just going to be another cam body for me right now. But like I said, the linebacker room is pretty thin right now, so he'll have a chance to at least show what he can do. And if there's anything that Pete Carroll has implemented ever since he's been hired as the head coach, is that we just need to compete, baby. And every single position, there's going to be some competition there. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what he does moving forward. But with all that being said, though, Raider Nation, man, what do you guys think about today's subjects? Let me know down in the comments below. Until the next video, this is your boy Small Raider, and your boy is, yeah.